So let's dig into it. Be impeccable with your word from a coaching perspective. What does that mean to you, Fern?
Uh, so here's where I think that one is important because I think the more serious topics people understand that, which is, if you say you're gonna show up on time, and if you say that you're gonna do this project or whatever, or you say you're not lying or something like that, that is accurate, right? So that is actually, those are not the ones that I think are the ones that are typically violated, I guess is the right term for that. I was
Broken,
having,
violated.
what's that?
Yeah, whether it's broken or
Yeah,
violated.
broken or like if people are just like, don't be a liar, right? Like I think that's a given. I think if you look at this at a little bit more granular level, this is where, I've done this with myself, and then with people that I've worked with. I think the smaller ones that are seemingly benign are the ones that become problematic. So let's give an example. So you're at a coach's meeting, and you're like, hey, let's get I'm making this up, so this is not a real thing. Let's get that email sent out by tomorrow morning. And somebody's like, I'll take care of it. And then the morning comes around and it doesn't happen. And you're like, hey, we didn't get that email. You're like, yeah, I'm sending it out right now, but it's in the afternoon and it goes out. And that would be an example of not intentionally, just kind of like ignorantly not being impeccable with your word, right? Meaning, say, if you say you're going to get it out in the morning, then get it out in the morning. Right? Like, or if you say we're going to start and finish class on time, then start and finish class on time.
Yeah, I think especially as a box owner, we fall into that trap of like wanting to appease not just your members, but your coaching staff or even your significant other, where you say things like, I'll get this done, I'll get that done, I'll do it here, I'll do it there, and you don't. And I think it's really important. One thing I learned is there's a whole lot less hardship and a whole lot less stress when you just either say, hey, I'm not doing that. It's not important to me. Like that needs to be, I'll give you another great example. You know, you, we have a coaches meeting at the box I coach at, and they're like, okay, when can you know this and that? I'm like, you need to be honest sometimes, be like, hey, this is not important to me. So if you want me to be there, this is, from the coach's perspective, this is what needs to happen. Oftentimes, you wind up agreeing to do something, saying you're going to do it, and then maybe you do follow through, but you're resentful of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think being impeccable with your word works both ways. It's not just to the people you're giving it to, but it has to be to yourself other. Like you and I are big proponents of, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So being impeccable with your word applies to, I guess, to both directions, inwardly and outward.